This is Townsville, located in far north Queensland, Australia, right off the Great Barrier Reef. A city where dozens of people are moving every single day. Today I'll share why so many people are coming here, what you can expect when you get here, and why for some of you, this might be the biggest mistake of your life. We travel from the heart of the city to the rainforest to Magnetic Island to bring you the best of what the largest, fastest growing city north of Brisbane has to offer. If you're considering making the big move to far north Queensland, this video is packed with all the information you're going to need to make an informed decision. I'm Rob Levy from Cutting Edge Property, and I am so excited to show you the city that I call home. Australia's population has just passed 26 million people, and with 520,000 new residents arriving annually, what can those of you who end up in Townsville expect? It's a city of extremes in everything from the weather to the economy. So whether you're moving from another city in Australia or you're a brand new immigrant to the country, you might be surprised by what you learn about this city. It's a vibrant and dynamic place to live, but it is not for everyone. Townsville is Australia's 14th largest city and the largest city north of the Tropic of Capricorn with 187,000 residents. It's located on the east coast of Queensland, Australia. This region is known for its stunning natural beauty, rich resources, and sweltering hot summers. Far North Queensland is home to the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, vast cattle stations that stretch as far as the eye can see, and lush sugarcane fields. Townsville is the jumping-off point for some of the world's largest coal and hard rock mines. This plays a significant role in the economic growth and development of our community. My story with this city begins back in 2006 when my then wife and I married in California. We wanted to get an education, and James Cook University was known as the best school in the world for tropical studies and marine biology. When people think of Australia, they think of Melbourne or Sydney, or sometimes even Brisbane, which is now a major city of 2.6 million people. These major capitals have ranked in the top 10 cities around the globe for quality of life, culture, education, environment, healthcare, and infrastructure. So why would you move to Townsville? To start with, living here is a completely different experience to any of Australia's major cities. That's why by the end of this video, you'll have a great idea of whether Townsville could be your future home. But why don't we talk about people's biggest worry, the economy, because a lot of people that have never lived here just don't understand how our economy works. They're happy to call the place a boom town, a mining town, or even an army town, and it's actually so much more. Yes, mining and defense are still the stars of the show here, but now there's a much greater focus on how environmental impact, green technologies, and renewable growth can fuel the economy. In fact, just south of Townsville, the Horton Solar Farm is currently being built as the region has one of the highest levels of solar irradiance anywhere in Australia. You can see it shining off my head. At a rate of 2,095 kilowatt hours per meter squared a year, this solar farm will eventually power 290,000 homes. Townsville's high quality of life, coupled with affordable commercial and residential real estate, has made this city a magnet for investment. And as more of these great companies come to Townsville, it further diversifies our economy, allowing more high-paying jobs to enter our market. Our job market is booming. Here in Townsville, we simply can't find enough tradespeople to build the houses we need for our growing population. Other in-demand positions include registered nurses, school teachers, project managers, electrical engineers, and any aged care providers. Since moving here from Los Angeles 18 years ago, I've experienced the ups and downs of living here. Of course, in the mid-2000s, there was the GFC, and that affected everyone globally. But right here in Townsville, we really felt it. At the time, we had the closure of Townsville's largest employer, Queensland Nickel. Falling metal prices led to the closure of quite a few mines. This and the storm financial crisis led to falling house prices for a period of more than 10 years. People think Townsville housing is quite affordable now compared to the capital cities, but believe it or not, 4 years ago, you could buy a house like the one behind me here in Cosgrove for as little as $350,000. In 2020, with the worldwide pandemic, once again we saw Townsville prices take a brief dip downward. But then there's been a huge skyward rise as capital cities have become unaffordable for so many people. So how does all of this affect your family's decision? Well, the truth is, a lot of these crises affected the entire world. So was it only Townsville that was impacted? Actually, not at all. I've found that there's always been work here in the city. Yes, maybe during some of those difficult times, people have had to shift from one industry to another. But if you're adaptable, if you're flexible, and if you're willing to work, you're going to do incredibly well here in Townsville. That's not just an anecdotal observation on my part. Over the last 18 years I've been here, I've had jobs in 10 different industries. From being a chef, to being a concreter, to climbing these coconut trees on the strand to cut down the coconuts. That's of course before finding real estate, where I've been working happily for the last 10 years. The best part about Townsville is, even though prices are up, housing is still quite affordable based on the income you can make here. And there's hardly any traffic compared to the major cities, where you might pay triple the price for the same house. Wait, did I say nearly triple? It's true! Owning in Sydney or Melbourne could cost you 2 to 3 times more than owning a house in Townsville. Our median price is only $430,000, and in Sydney, it's now all the way up at $1.2 million. I personally think it's really important to move to a place where affordable housing is an option for your future, especially for your kids' future. Even if your family is planning on starting out by renting, they're going to be putting roots down in your new location. So housing affordability is incredibly important, especially at a time when inflation is high and cost of living is affecting quality of life for Australians all over the country. Here, it only takes about 30% of an average family's income to afford the average home. It's up to 60% in the Australian capital cities. Supply and demand is another huge factor affecting housing prices here in Australia. So in some cities, you see really high prices because there's a huge demand and almost no supply of new homes. In some cities, it's hard to get permits or even available land to develop and build on. Well, here in Townsville, we always have a strong supply coming to market because we simply have more space, keeping housing in better balance for our growing population. And there's still quite a bit of good land in the city to build on, like this block behind me on Windara Avenue in Douglas. Townsville is expected to have around 23,000 new residents by 2031. That means we need about 9,000 new properties, or 1,150 a year, just to keep up with demand. Knowing how important owning real estate could be to your family's financial future, shouldn't you consider moving to a place that actually has affordable housing? Why not consider Townsville? Well, my staff and I love it here. And of course, it's actually so much more than an investment. It's a place where you'll build your life, it's a place where you'll grow your friend circle, and of course, it's a place where you'll raise your kids. Isn't that right, Rosa? For me, moving here was a life-changing decision. In fact, it was the best move of my whole life. That's why I started Cutting Edge Property. My team and I have been helping families move to Townsville successfully for a number of years. We're here to help you find a home that suits your needs, your wants, and even your budget. In fact, you can check out our YouTube channel where we've got hundreds of videos of houses at all different price points. This will help you get a better understanding of what you should expect. And then, of course, if you do need real estate services, we're always happy to help. So obviously Townsville works really well for me, my staff, and their families. And on a beautiful winter's day like this, it's easy to forget that there are some realities about life here that for many people would definitely be a deal breaker. Of course, I'm talking about the weather because here in Townsville we say there's 6 months where the weather is absolute heaven and 6 months where the weather is more like, well, you know where. Now, if you've been researching a move to Townsville, you've probably been checking out the weather, and the monthly averages in the city make it look quite pleasant here. Well, it kind of is, and it kind of most definitely is not. In January, the monthly average is 32 degrees, but that does not take into account the days where it's 45 with 80% humidity. Depending on how the monsoon swings down from the Indian Ocean, the weather can carry on like this with sweltering, unbearable heat for weeks at a time. Surely you're thinking during the summer, I'll just jump in the ocean to cool off. Well, during the summer, the ocean can be 29 degrees and full of dangerous box jellyfish. You'll have to wear a full-body stinger suit just to get in. In fact, with over 300 days of sunshine a year here in Townsville, there's a propensity for it to be as hot as Hades any day between October and May. If you're looking for a house, air conditioning should be your #1 priority, and solar panels to run it, a definite must-have. This oppressive tropical heat is why so many houses in Townsville have a pool, and it's also why houses with pools sell for so much more. I've had the chance to jump in a pool or two in my time here as a real estate agent. Winter, however, it's absolutely perfect here. Highs of 24 degrees during the day, coupled with lows that the locals think are absolutely freezing at 15 degrees. For me, this is the perfect time of year to get outdoors. I love a morning jog down the Strand, which is Townsville's premier 5.7 kilometers of beachfront. The walking paths here are lined with public art, coconut trees, and the gem at the end of the path is the rock pool. This giant saltwater swimming pool is the perfect place to do laps in the morning. If you're fitness-minded and you live anywhere near the inner city, we'll definitely catch you walking up Castle Hill in your athletic gear in the morning. About 2,500 people climb the hill every day, with some of them choosing to run up the goat track like me. And some, even more adventurous people, go straight up the face. No matter how you get to the top of the hill, everyone gets to enjoy beautiful 360-degree views of our town. And there's also a fantastic new walking track at Mount Louisa, perfect for those who live in the suburbs. So no matter where you live in Townsville, there's heaps of scenic options to help you keep fit. Speaking of exercise, if you're a mountain biker, Townsville is a mecca for the sport with over 30 kilometers of tracks right here in Douglas. There are trails great for kids all the way up to Black Diamond level tracks perfect for downhill daredevils. The Townsville Rock Wheelers hold a number of competitions here every year, and volunteers help maintain the trails. Yoo! High five. My favorite track, however, is out at Palarenda, and it takes you through various different biomes, from mangrove swamp to shelly beaches to patches of remnant rainforest. Speaking of rainforest, if you've always dreamed of floating down a crystal blue rainforest creek, just north of Townsville is the aptly named Paradise Waterhole at Crystal Creek. The best part about swimming here is the water is so clear you can see all the crocodiles before they get you. Just kidding. This is my favorite place to cool off for the summer. And for the more adventurous, you can dive right into the heart of the rainforest just up the road here at Little Crystal Creek. The Paluma Range is the southernmost part of a band of tropical rainforest that stretches all the way north to Cape Tribulation and the Daintree. If you're looking to cool off during Townsville's hottest days, the misty mountaintop rainforest village of Paluma is always 10 degrees cooler than the coastal plains. Where else do Townsville residents like to kick back and relax? We're sure when you're here you'll feel the pull of Magnetic Island. Your quickest link to Magnetic Island is with SeaLink. This passenger service operates 17 return trips to the island daily and can get you over there in just 20 minutes. Now you can take the bus, but by far the easiest way to get around the island is by car. I got mine from our friends at Jeeps on Magnetic Island. These are the most fun vehicles you can have here, and for some reason, they gave me Captain America. I can't imagine why. We're here at Picnic Bay. Let's go check it out. Picnic Bay Jetty is a great place to try your luck at fishing, or to simply sit and watch the sunset while taking in views of the Townsville coastline in the distance. There's a specially designed swimming enclosure here that gets installed in the summer months to help protect swimmers from stingers, and the beachfront is patrolled by surf lifesavers during the summer school holidays. The Picnic Bay Hotel behind me is a great place for a cold beer or a basket of fish and chips. Hop in, because there's so much more to see. Alma Bay is famously one of Queensland's top 10 beaches. This is a fantastic place for your family to rent some snorkeling gear, get down in the water, and visit one of the fringing reefs that circle the island. The Forts Walk is Magnetic Island's most popular walking experience, showcasing many highlights of Magnetic Island National Park. If you've noticed, I'm being as quiet as possible because this is a great place to see koalas in the wild. Here you can also see remnant stands of Magnetic Island's famous hoop pines. These tropical pine trees were traditionally used to make the interior flooring of many Queenslander houses. Horseshoe Bay is also known for its family-friendly atmosphere, and this is the perfect place to come if you like tubing, jet skiing, paddleboarding, or even if you just want to park your sailboat here in the calm waters. If you don't feel like cooking in your galley, the beachfront is lined with restaurants and bars, and there's a variety of different cuisines available. For the more adventurous, there's always Magnetic Island's famous nude beach here at Balding Bay. Maggie has volcanic roots like most of the hills in the Townsville region, and giant granitic boulders can be seen strewn across the island. This beautiful island is one of few in Australia and the only one in the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park that offers freehold title for its land. So if you buy a house here, you actually own it, rather than leasing it. If you're interested in just a taste of the island and you're not yet ready to move here, you'll find Airbnbs scattered throughout the beaches, and of course you can always stay at Magnetic Island's premier resort, Pepper's Blue on Blue. All this adventure, fine dining, and peace and quiet is just 20 minutes from the Townsville CBD. And if you don't want to leave town, one of the best places to take the kids is any of the parks along the Ross River. The Townsville City Council has done a fantastic job of making accessible bike paths that stretch from the inner city suburbs all the way up to the Ross Dam. Areas such as Douglas, Annandale, and Idalia are especially popular because of these awesome bike paths. Another highlight is the Queensland Country Bank Stadium, home of the North Queensland Cowboys, and also international concerts by stars as big as Pink. And the best part is, it's walking distance from many inner city suburbs. All of that is awesome, but I want to be honest with you. For some of you, Townsville is just not going to work. One of the reasons why is you may be looking for a city that has something going on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that is just not life here in Townsville. We move at a little bit slower pace. Most restaurants are closed by 9 p.m. and the nightlife scene, it's pretty average. But that doesn't mean that we don't have some great stuff going on. We've got a vibrant festival scene with highlights in the winters such as the Northern Festival of the Arts. And of course, there's the Townsville 500 V8 races. A new hotel right on the water has just opened up, featuring 3 luxurious restaurants with flavors that range from Japanese traditional to surf and turf. The highlight, however, here at Ardo is the rooftop bar, featuring 260-degree views of Townsville City, Castle Hill, and Magnetic Island. One of the surprising things about Townsville, which might be a deal breaker for you, is even though it's on the east coast of Australia, there's absolutely no surf here. So if you're looking to hang 10, it's just not going to happen. This is because the fringing reefs around Magnetic Island and the Great Barrier Reef offshore block almost all the waves. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, one more reason that Townsville might not work for you is that we do get cyclones. These are kind of like hurricanes for those of you north of the equator, except they spin the other way because, of course, we're in the southern hemisphere. I was here when Cyclone Yasi hit the town in 2011. Because we were right here in Annandale near the hospital and the army base, we didn't lose power, but more than half of the city did. It's always a good idea when you live in Townsville to have a cyclone emergency kit ready. And then, of course, there were the 2019 floods. It rained so much that 3,500 houses went underwater during a series of storms in early February. In fact, the council had to release water from the Ross Dam upstream, further complicating matters and flooding houses throughout the city. The truth about the floods is we've never had a rainstorm like that before. We got nearly 3 meters of rain in the first 2 weeks of February. Scientists think it's a 1 in 500-year event, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't check with your real estate agent to see if the house you're thinking of purchasing actually flooded or not. Also, you'll probably be needing a car to get around. The public transport system is not great, and it's limited to buses. So unless you're keen on getting sweaty in 40-degree heat to get to work, you're definitely going to need a car. Another major factor in your decision to move should be healthcare. And in Australia, unlike where I'm from in the United States, the healthcare system covers most of your basic needs for free or at a low cost. There are over 20 family medical centers here where you can find a GP, and the region's largest hospital, which takes in emergency patients from all over North Queensland, is just here behind me. If this is your first time coming to Australia, you should know that just because there's universal healthcare, it doesn't mean that everything's included. So you should know you'll be out of pocket if you need the help of a good masseuse or personal trainer. Am I doing this right?
No.
One big factor for most families is the education system, and here in Townsville we've got great public and private schools for students of all ages. And of course our city has a big draw card for international students, James Cook University. Here you'll find programs in over 30 subjects with a special emphasis on environmental and, of course, marine science. This school is #1 for marine biology on the planet, #13 for ecology on the planet, and there's more than 13,000 students from all over the world. Townsville is a family-friendly city where neighbors still get together for a chinwag or a barbecue in the street. In fact, it might remind you of what life was like growing up in the 1980s. Economically, Townsville is on the rise, and yet it's still one of the few places in Australia that has affordable housing. Diving on the Great Barrier Reef, adventures in a four-wheel drive in the bush, and incredible fishing spots are right here on your doorstep. I actually caught a 1.13 meter barra right here at Applin's Weir, and if you don't believe me, check out the photos. I'm Rob Levy from Cutting Edge Property, and I've got a question for you. Did this video help you make a decision about whether Townsville could be right for you? What do you love about this city? Please let us know in the comments. And if you're planning on making a move to this city, my real estate team would love to help your family make it home. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see some more great videos about Townsville, we've got a playlist coming up showing all the fantastic things Townsville has to offer. We're also about to do a series on how to buy a house in Queensland. So if you never want to miss another one of our videos, please click the button and subscribe. If you're still watching this video, what are you doing? Quick, book a plane ticket and get up here. But seriously, folks, I just want to give a huge thank you to my friend in Canada, Brad McCallum from Real Estate. He's the one who inspired me to make this video, and if you want to see how to be a video real estate influencer, his channel is the one to follow. Huge thanks for help making the Magnetic Island portion of this video goes to C-Link and MI Rentals Jeeps on Maggie. They're your one-stop hire shop for everything from transportation to snorkels. I had so much fun today exploring Magnetic Island in my Captain America Jeep. Everyone should get a chance to go topless on Magnetic Island. I also want to give a huge shout out to my friend Harry from Spark Movement Studio, Tommy, Jamin, and Dino, the incredible mountain bikers, all of my staff and Cutting Edge Property, and who could forget Lights Camera Ashley for doing an incredible job of filming this.